Well, it's 2 o'clock, and so we'll start the webinar off. As mentioned, this month's webinar will be on the alert section and how important they are to set up if you haven't already set them up. So in this tutorial, you'll learn which ones you should be setting up, how to set them up correctly, and then what they actually do, each one of the alerts, because some alerts do different things than other alerts. So you can actually find this section here, this page here, in your help section in staged approach. So if you go to the help section in the top right hand corner, so let's come back here, go to the help section, let's getting started, and then if you come down here to a staged approach just here, that'll bring up that article. So, but you can also follow the helper. So remembering that everything inside the system is via this helper. If you can't find alerts, all you need to do is type in alert here, and it'll actually bring up anything that you wish. You select that there, and it'll actually go through. Now, you might have noticed, clients who have been a client of mine for a while, is that we've actually changed this kind of structure up here. We've put alerts, notifications, and actions in one section. Then we've actually put the sites and visitors and the building, the induction builder in this section here. So you'll find the alerts here and select on alerts. Again, the helper will actually take you through step by step. So if you either watch this video or you can follow the helper. But you'll see in the alert register itself, literally every single register inside the system is related to the alert register. You need to notify yourselves that something needs to be done. So and you'll notice that you need to set it up by every individual site. So let's just go to that site structure first. So you're looking at your system has the ability to have multi-sites in this multi-structured site. This is your global site, and then you got all your sites underneath. So you can't just set up an alert for the global site and receive an alert from everyone. We're going to be doing that at a later update, though, because it would make sense. But you need to set up an alert for this site there, or if you've got items relating to this, or plant items, or you want to be notified if incidents relating to a site down here, you need to set up a site for that. So it is a bit of a task the first time you do it to set up multi alerts for all these different sites. But we are looking at a way later on, probably early next year, to make that kind of chore a little bit easier. But in the meantime, this has stood the test of time throughout all the years of the system being used. So so you're looking at, if you've got multi-sites, you need to set up an email alert for every single site that's inside your system. Everyone please, when you come into the meeting, if you can place yourself on mute, that'd be good. So so you're looking at, having this site structure and setting up email alerts for each site is very, very important. Let's go back to the alert page. You'll also notice that there is actually a help guide beside every single item. So this is just a guide to actually let you know exactly how to set up this alert. The incident alert and the hazard alert are different than the other alerts inside the system. So let's just go add employee to alert. All you need to be doing is selecting the register you want to actually be notified from. So let's just select accidents and incidents. And you'll notice that there's a pop-up box on the side there that highlights that the time frame should be set in a certain way. So for an incident, you want to be notified literally straight away. So you set this alert and only this alert and the hazard alert at 0. So so accidents and incidents, and then what you would do, you would not just select that site, you need to select and do the alert for every individual site, because we've got a lot of companies who have big multi-sites, and literally they're like their own entity, let alone they're a franchise. So that's why that structure is like that. So if I say, for an example, I've selected this site, and you'll see that it's got staff and it's got management. Management are anyone related to the general site and anyone that is a admin permission level. So you're looking at these people here. If you see those people down there, that's the reason being is because they're related to the global site, or they're going admin permission level or a management permission level for this site. But if I actually say, let's just select, because, with this system here, I haven't got any other employees related to certain other sites, but I know I've got other employees related to this site here. So see how you've got the staff up there and management up there. So these people here are the people who are really solely related to that site there. So even though this happens to be the global site, if there was another site was related to, you understand what I mean. So you're looking at to set up an alert for an individual person or more than one person. All you do is actually select that person. And then if you wanted to go to multiple people at the same time, you'll hold down the control button on your computer's keyboard, and then you can actually select as many people as you wish. Don't select just one like that, because it'll actually take everything away. You need to hold the control button to keep them all there. So again, a later upgrade will be actually making that process a little bit easier. You can escalate an alert. For an example, this alert is set at 0. So I'm going to get an email alert straight away, or wherever it's been set up. But these people might want to get notified that this person here still hasn't done the investigation by 2 days. And you can escalate it further and further and further. So I've seen some of the clients, and until they sit in some of these meetings and so forth, they set up this email alert here at 1. That means you're not going to get this email alert for accidents and incidents till tomorrow. So, which is not what you want. So accidents, incidents, you want it right away. So it will send you an email alert saying there's been an incident notified. You can click on that and it'll take you to the incident. So if I come back to the alert register, so the idea is to actually set up an alert for every single register for every single person. But again, this little helper will show you how to use it correctly. So the action alert. What does the action alert do? Well, the action register is related to the incident section when you develop an corrective measure in the 3rd step, the hazard register when you've developed a control measure in the 3rd step, when you actually select no in the checklist, when you actually add an action in a meeting, and also the action itself. But this alert alerts the person that that action that's been set has not been completed. So it's a pretty good alert to set up. So let's just say we set up an email, an alert in the hazard register for Julianne to develop a control measure and implement it by a due date. If she hasn't done it by that due date, then it's going to email alert me because I've set up an alert here. So that's a pretty important register, and because it's linked to so many different registers to complete an act. So that's definitely one you definitely want to do. So these two, absolutely. So activity register. This is just literally picking up your review date for your activity. So you might have more than one activity inside your register. And if you're going to set an, you want them just as a review date, sometimes it's a good idea that you actually set up just one alert to alert you that all those activities need to be done. Or if you want to do, you could actually set them up for all of them and get bombarded by email alerts. Again, Michael's come up with a really good process where we're going to only set up one alert to show you, one alert to say, hey, these are all the things that need to be done instead of getting hit by 20 alerts. So there is things happening with the alert register in the coming future, but at the moment it is as it is. But so it's up to you if you want to set up that. If you've got safe work method statements and so forth, it is probably a very good idea for you to actually set up an email alerts in there. So if it's just you're relating to an activity that you're putting there because you want to relate it to a checklist or a process, you probably wouldn't need a review date. So this checklist here, what email alert does that? That is the review date only for that checklist. It's not the email alert to notify you that it's actually been completed. So that email alert that's been completed is actually when you actually set up the checklist. And so if I come to the checklist builder, and I'll just select edit next to this checklist, I'll come down here, that alert here in the alert register is for this alert and this person set up here. The person set up here is we'll get an email alert every single time that this checklist has been completed. So this is a very, very good feature. Again, we're going to make that go to multiple people in the coming months. So let's go back to our alert section. So that checklist, just the review date. The chemicals is for, if you've got chemicals, you should definitely set up this alert, because this is going to notify you of the safety data sheet review date. And obviously, you're going to have to set up, it's only one alert, but you're going to have to set up for all your different sites, and that'll pick up the review date when you're entering that safety data sheet. So pretty important. These two alerts are extremely important. This is going to alert you that the contractor's insurances are overdue. It'll actually alert you on the review date and the expiry date. And the same thing, it'll email alert you on the review date and the expiry date. But you can actually, in the contractor register, if you select view next to contractor, scroll down to the bottom, and you can actually get the system to email alert the contractor to update their systems. So it will actually send them an email. So if we go to the contractor register, and I first select view, I scroll down to the bottom here. These two here, you can set up an email alert to go to the contractor to alert them that their insurances and qualifications are expiring. And then what you should do is come back up to this alert here and set an alert here to notify you. Then that way there, if they haven't done it, at least it's going to notify you. So we're putting another quick little upgrade inside the contractor section where you'll actually email alert you that the contractor has changed something in that register. So let's come down here. Another very important one, your emergency equipment. So if you've got emergency equipment, set up an email alert for each one of your individual sites. So so that's definitely a must. Emergency procedures, yep, you definitely want to be doing that, because you want to be reviewing your emergency procedures, and that will also pick up the fire drill date as well. So you'll see there's two types of alerts there. Environmental alert, well, you'll see that I'm going to show you the environmental section in later in this presentation. But that is just going to be solely for the review date. Forms, really, at the moment, it's a bit of a just an upload feature and so forth. And you're looking at it with the forms there. You'll see this new upgrade that we're putting inside the system, which is the form builder, and you'll be able to build safe work methods, statements, and forms, and all those different things inside there. So really, it's going to be a good feature. At the moment, it's not. So it's just letting know what. If you can not ask me questions during the presentation, because it'll just break up everything. If you've got questions, please email me after the meeting. So the hazard register. Well, this works exactly like the incidents and accidents. So you want to set up this register, and you want to set that up at 0. So you get email alerted straight away. So again, you would set it up for each individual site. So your plant and equipment, yep, another definite one you would need to be doing. So if you've got plant and equipment, you've got to keep that in a safe working order, and all your equipment's going to have different maintenance dates. So this alert does multiple things, because if we go to the plant and equipment section, and if I select edit, you would have noticed the new upgrade with the categories and so forth here. But if I come down here, this is going to notify you with the alert date and expiry date of registrations, insurances, and maintenance dates, but also a review date. So the review date, why is a review date in here? It was with all these other email alerts. The review date literally is an alert to say, okay, just make sure you check that machine to make sure everything's up to date and so forth. So it's just a review. You mightn't even have that machine anymore. So if you get that email alert, oh, we haven't got that item anymore, you can actually just deactivate it. Or something might have changed in that machine and you need to update it. So that's what's alerting you there. So let's go back up to the alerts. So policy is just straight out, just letting you know with your policies. Usually your policies will be related to your global site. So and therefore you can only set up one email alert. So and you'll see that you want to actually set that up for continual improvement, especially if you're going for accreditations of some sort. The position one is just for the review date of the position. I mean, it's not a biggie, but if you did want to do it and so forth, you can. This is definitely something you want to set up. This is going to email alert you that someone's qualifications are expiring. You'll set it as an alert date and also as an expiry date. So as you know, when you're actually entering email alert, so if I actually come here, sorry, entering qualifications, you've got the alert date and you've got the expiry date. So that's going to email alert you on both those dates. So it's a very good idea that you actually set up those alerts for your qualifications. And responsibilities, well, your responsibilities is your register over here. And this is something people kind of are lacking and not doing as they should. So this responsibility register is about people who's the PCBU, who's your fire wardens, who's your first aid, all those different things is related to that register there. So you should be checking that because that person might have left. So so you can set up your email alerts. We are putting a feature inside the person's history section later this year. It's from requests from some people, is that in this alert section here, this will actually highlight all the alerts that Jessica Rabbit has been assigned to. And then you'll be able to click one button and reassign it to another person. So let's just say, for example, Jessica leaves, then that way there, you don't have to go going through every single alert going, oh, which alert was she related to. This will tell you and you'll be able to update that. That'll make it much easier to do so. So that's, say, for the alerts, you can see it's quite easy to set up, but remembering if you do want to relate it to more than one person, hold the control button down. If you don't see a person's name here, that's because there's no email address inside the system, so therefore they're not going to get an email alert. So you just got to make sure with a couple of things with alerts, as a couple of clients found out, is don't, if you get email alerts, don't mark them as spam. Because if you mark one email alert as spam, then you're going to receive no email alerts. And we have one client that they marked the email as spam, even though the system is trying to tell them that, hey, something's out of date or something needs attention straight away. And what they did is they marked it as spam, and it was for a contractor, and that contractor's insurance had run out, and what's the likelihood of an incident occurring when that contractor's insurances were failed. And so we can actually, we've got a back end where we can actually tell if an email went out or not. So it records all the emails, whether it bounced. If it bounced, it means it's been spam, or the email address is incorrect. So you just got to make sure that the email address is correct. Don't mark it as spam. If you're not receiving an email, that means you need to contact us and then get our IT team to speak to your IT team, because it's your IT team might have actually set certain security levels in your alert section and in your email to do so. So that is the alert. So I hope you got something out of that. So now let's go into some of these upgrades that's coming inside the system that you're going to like a lot. Well, hopefully you're going to like a lot. So so if I just come on to the staging server, if I go to the employee section, so what we're actually doing is with everyone, everyone's obviously going through COVID and all those different things, and it is going to come to the day that people are going to want to sometimes see, hey, is that person got the, have you been vaccinated? So in here, this works exactly the same as the qualification matrix. You add qualifications here to create whatever it is in your list here. You can edit the qualifications or delete it. Exactly the same as the qualification section do. You've got an alert date and expiry date. And there will be an alert in the alert register to help you actually set this up as well. You can upload the certificate or whatever it may be, and you can add as many vaccinations as you wish. So where that is leading to it's actually going to be creating this new employee ID card with QR code. So you can order these cards of us to actually get them done, plastic cards, where we can actually, make this into a plastic card. They scan that QR code, it'll open up this view section on the person's mobile phone or whatever it may be, and it'll highlight all the emergency contacts, qualifications, and vaccinations and so forth. You don't have to make that public, so you can make that private, where a person has to enter a username and password after they scan it. So therefore, the employee can say, no, I don't want you to have a look, or yes, here you go, and then they can enter this. So you can make it either way. So, but it's a great little feature, and it's something I think is really going to help with everything. We can even actually put these QR codes on a badge. So if you've got a business that, for an example, has a name badge of some sort, yes, we've got the machine that we can actually put the QR code of that employee with all their details on a badge, which is pretty special. And then the third kind of one is that's coming into the system is, this is an extra cost. If you want to manage people coming on and off your site easily and effectively, you've got this site box here. This site box, you need to be purchasing that site box through us, but then we code that site box to link into your system. Then these cards are special cards. They are coded individually for this individual employee. So it's an embedded code, and in your employee section, you'll see that there's a new field up here. What's the code? And that is not mandatory, because obviously if you don't get this card, you can still use the other ID card, which is just a normal plastic ID card, or you can print them out yourself and put them, on whatever it may be that you wish. But this card is coded, so when the person comes in, all they're doing is tapping that box and they go straight into the system. That's stage one of that item. Later on, we're actually making it, this person has, you've set it that they need to have vaccinations coming into the system, coming onto the site, or their qualifications, and especially if they're a contractor, their insurances and all that kind of stuff. They come on site, they tap it. It's going to email alert the person you've set up to say, hey, Rod Chapman's coming on the site and his insurance have expired. So but it will kind of bring up this kind of feature as well. So we've just added this feature inside the system. If you haven't noticed, in your plant and equipment section, there is now a new plant and equipment lockout feature. So it's and you're looking at, so let's just say, for an example, how you can already build a checklist, a pre-start checklist for, let's just, for an example, a hoist. So you can go up there, you can put the QR code on the hoist, you can scan that QR code, it'll bring this up. But if you've locked that, it's been locked down, it'll bring up this big red cross. It'll also highlight why it's been locked out and what's the next action. So the person understands that, hang on a sec, this is going to be fixed, and it's going to be scheduled to be fixed 23rd of the 7th, whatever it may be. So it's so great little feature. That'll also record that in the items diary here in the log. So you've actually got a record of every single time that machine's been tagged locked out. So stage one of that at the moment. So it's but good little feature, but later on it's going to get a little bit better as well. So it's let's go to the new environmental section. So if I come down here, this will be going into the system, I would say probably next week. So if I select just edit next to this one here, so you can do an environmental impact statement using this system and risk assessment. So you can relate it to a site, you can relate it to an activity, you've got all these different kinds of impacts, and again, you can add or take those away. But we have preloaded ones inside the system to help you. So you're looking at, you can actually go through the risk assessment, give the risk a score. At the moment, you'll be using this matrix, but I'll be linking that to the new corporate matrix where you can actually build your own matrix. So it's, and then you can actually add control measures, and obviously you're going to add actions relating to those control measures, and you can add as another risk, and you can add another control and another actions and so forth. So you're literally building an environmental impact statement. And then the third stage, it goes over how you're going to show what you're going to do, and it actually just takes you through the plan. So you can print that out, and if someone wants to know what is your environmental impact statement relating to a certain kind of activity or site, you can go, here it is, here's my statement. So and again, that will be linking to other features inside the system as well, like it used to. It was in the system a while ago, in the older system. It's just that we've upgraded that system to allow that ability to do a full-on risk assessment. So other features that's coming into the system, the risk manager shouldn't be far away. It's just getting a couple of changes inside the system where you can actually do, it's more corporate risk or risk management in relating to operational, financial, commercial, those kind of things. So great kind of register, especially if you've got companies and you're going for certain things that you need to show that you've actually undertook a risk assessment on a certain item or certain thing. Well, that is the webinar in this one here. Sorry, you went about 25 minutes, so that's about spot on. If you do have any questions, please email alert me after the meeting. But you'll find that you can always come down here and use the helper to help you set up anything inside the system. If you need any other help and so forth, don't hesitate to actually come up here and submit a ticket. That'll come into the team, and Claire will get back to you as soon as possible. If it's something that she can't answer, she'll push it on to Julianne or myself. So the couple other services that we're actually doing now, we're starting, we've just put on another lovely young lady called Marie, and she will be working with Julianne doing a lot of consultancy work. So if you're not getting the most out of your system and you want actually the girls to actually help you, do that, yes, obviously there is a cost to that, but you speak to Julianne about that, and you can actually, help get us to help you actually get your system up and running faster, and using some of these features that you should be using on a daily basis. So if you do want to inquire about that, please don't hesitate to send Julianne an email, or you can send it to me and I'll forward it off to Julianne. So, or even you can actually put it in as a ticket. So yeah, that's just a new service that we're building up. Instead of having other consultants doing that, we're actually bringing it more in-house, and because we can train up our team here to get the most out of the system instead of some other consultant who doesn't know the system as well as we do. Well, I hope you enjoyed that webinar today. I hope everyone's safe. So unfortunately, I'm in lovely Sydney, so we're in lockdown mode. So hopefully one day we'll get out of this. So all the best, and just remembering it has been recorded. It'll be in the help section tomorrow. Thank you.